This honestly might be the most ridiculous stat I've seen all season long. Last season, Cade Cunningham had 30 different teammates, which is already pretty wild. 14 of them are no longer in the NBA at all. Not on a different team. They're not in the NBA. And honestly, this speaks volumes to what I think people ignore about this Pistons turnaround. I'm sure you're all sick of seeing this stat by now, but the Pistons this season versus last season, year over year improvement, pretty incredible and honestly up there with the NBA turnarounds that we've seen in the last decade. And I think people look at Cade Cunningham and the all-star, borderline all-NBA year he's having and say, wow, this dude's taking a step forward. He's carrying them to the promised land. Yes, he's having a great year, and that might be true to a certain extent, but I think people overlook how good the team around him. If you're not a Pistons fan, you might not know that really the big change for them started this offseason. They fired their general manager, Troy Weaver, replaced him with technically the president of basketball ops, now Trajan Langdon from New Orleans, and then, of course, firing Monty, who was infamously starting Killian Hayes over Jaden Ivey for long portions of last season, replaced him with JB Bickerstaff. Those were massive moves, not only because they were improvements immediately at those two positions in GM and in head coach, but also because of the moves that they subsequently made. Bringing in Tobias Harris, bringing in Tim Hardaway Jr., bringing in Malik Beasley, massive steps forward. Yes, there were coaching decisions like Jaden Ivey becoming not just a role player in the starting lineup, but a genuine starter. Obviously, they also got Asar back and did some other things. Sasser has been a key part of the lineup as well. They made Isaiah Stewart back into a center. They tried to play him at a power forward last year. I can make a whole video on that. But a lot of this team's change hasn't just been the massive level up for Cade. It's the roster they put around him with the front office changes. The team around Cade Cunningham, as evidenced by this stat, was historic levels of terrible. And it was simple, easy front office and coaching decisions, of course, easy on the outside looking in, that made this team have the turnaround that they have had.